Hi, I think this thing is on. Hi, Deaf Poet Society friends and comrades. My name is Leah Lakshmi Piepzna-Samarasinha. I'm a queer, disabled Sri Lankan, Irish, Roma, femme writer, and I have been asked to do a pep talk, which I'm doing on photo booth from um, my bed life from my disabled workplace, which is my bedroom, as I'm sure y'all know much about. I'm really excited to talk about this. When Saray Jarrell Johnson asked me to make this video, the first thing that I thought that I wanted to say is that as disabled people, we've always existed. We've existed since human animals became human. We've existed as disabled animals. We've always existed, and we have survived so many attempts to eradicate us through eugenics and institutionalization and marginalization and erasure. And I guess for me, what that means that since we've always been here and we've always existed, we're always going to exist. And that's not to say that there aren't huge challenges of racism and ableism and genocide and death facing us, but I think that we are people who have survived and found each other against the greatest of odds, and that means that we're going to keep doing it because that's just what we do. Um, so that's one thing. And then in thinking about Crip futurity, I've been a science fiction nerd since I was like 10, 11, 12, 14. I'm rereading Ursula Le Guin right now. And like a lot of us, there's often, and especially in utopic feminist anti-oppressive science fiction, there's a future with no disabled people in it because wow, there's really good medical care and the earth is cleaned up so nobody's disabled. And nobody in those books ever questions why that's a problem or would be a problem. The disabled Cherokee two-spirit writer Coley Driscoll has a quote I use a lot, where he says, "Yeah, so for so much of the time as disabled people, we're not even present in the imaginations of a supposedly radical future." Um, so I want to say that I think it's really radical to imagine a disabled future for ourselves, to imagine a disabled future that centers disabled people, to imagine a disability utopia that isn't about us all being cured or eradicated or we all take the, really cheap pill with no side effects that erases our disability. I'm really excited about imagining a disabled future where disabled history and art and culture and science and community and knowledge is, fully funded and studied, and you learn about it when you're in kindergarten, and you learn about it throughout your life, and you learn from other disabled folks, where we're not just, erased or destroyed as like the positive outcome. And I'm part of, with a lot of other people, with a collection of science fiction called Octavia's Brood, which is science fiction writing in the tradition of the great Black science fiction writer Octavia Butler. And Walida Imarisha, who's one of the two editors of that collection, has said a lot that all political organizing is science fiction because we're imagining a future that doesn't exist yet. And I think that as Crips, we are so innovative and we are so creative in just making up shit that no one's made up. And I'm really excited to see what futures that we invent, period, and what works of art and fiction and nonfiction and poetry, imagining Crip futures end up in Deaf Poet Society in this issue. Um, so I guess I want to say the last thing I want to say is that I looked in the mirror in my bathroom before I did this, and I'm 42 years old next month. Um, As a neurodivergent person, a chronically ill person, a survivor, a person of color, a working class person, I never thought I would live to be 42. And so in this moment, I'm my own science fiction. And like everything that happens as a win by and for disabled and deaf people, it doesn't just happen. It happened through work, it happened through dreaming. That I worked and dreamed and imagined myself to this thriving, disabled, middle aged femme of color life. Um, and the last thing I want to say is that I have been a survivor and neurodivergent for most of my life. I came into physically disabled and chronically ill identity in my early 20s, which is half my life. I have seen so much change in the last decade, since the decade plus since disability justice became a thing. My life has been transformed by finding and making community with other Crips of color. Everything's different. And the thing I just think is like, I couldn't have imagined any of this in 2006, 2007. And if all of this stuff has happened, that in terms of disability justice community and art and culture and support and the partnership that I'm in and so many other things, if all that's happened in the past decade in ways that were completely unexpected, what are the wild, disabled, unknown creations that are going to come to be in 2027, 2037, 2137, and beyond? So I think I'll just leave it at that as a pep talk, and I'm so excited to see what we create. Thanks.